everyone, my name is Chris, and welcome to my Board Game Guides, where I help you get better at board games. Today, I'm going to show you how to get better at a game you might think is not capable of skill improvement, and that would be Vlaada Chvátil's Galaxy Trucker, a game that's really chaotic and very, very crazy. But there is a way to do it, and I'm probably not the best Galaxy Trucker player in the world, but I am a lot better than many of my friends who do play, and I'm pretty competitive against my brother, who is a very solid Galaxy Trucker player. So I can at least show you my thinking process about how I construct my spaceships and how I approach every round. So let's take a look into how you can get better at Galaxy Trucker. Okay, so one way you can get good at Galaxy Trucker is to understand what cards come up in each round. And in Galaxy Trucker, the game actually helps you out by saying that you can peek at the piles, and that will give you a pretty good idea of what you're going up against. So in round 1, you get 8 round 1 cards that you have to deal with. In round 2, you have 8 round 2 cards and 4 round 1 cards. And then in round 3, you have 8 round 3 cards, 4 round 2 cards, and 4 round 1 cards. You can peek at 3 of those piles, and that should guide you on how to build your ship. Now, what I like to do to challenge myself is not look at the piles and just build a ship from scratch. And it really helps if you do that to kind of know what threats you'll be seeing in each round. So why don't we go over it round by round so that you get a better idea. Well, round 1 is very straightforward and easily the easiest. But the most important one, I think, is to understand the combat zone card. And the most punishing of the combat zone cards are the thrusters and the guns. So in round 1, you do not want to be the person with the fewest guns for sure, because you're going to get hurt pretty bad. Thrusters, you're okay with as long as you make sure you pack enough crew, and as long as you can deal with the combat zone card from round 1, you should be good. Everything else is fairly straightforward and not a big threat. I mean, I guess you have to worry about the pirates as well. So pirates, if you have fewer than 5 guns, an attack strength of 5 on your ship, you will get beaten down by the pirates with 3 shots, unless the guy in front of you defeats them. So obviously in round 1, it becomes pivotal that you equip your ship with guns and prioritize guns construction. I don't think there's anything else that's horrible. No, there isn't. So in round 1, that pretty much gives you the idea. Make sure you pack a lot of guns. Thrusters are optional as long as you have a lot of people. Round 2 gets a little bit hairier. So round 2 is where you first see the instance of the card Epidemic, which states that if you have 2 crew quarters right next to each other, each crew quarter will lose 1 person unless one of the crew quarters was empty, which can be pretty bad. And the way to get around this is to make sure that in round 2, your crew quarters are not adjacent to each other. Yes, that's going to require a lot of thinking on your part to make sure you don't make that happen, and there might be the chance that you do it anyway, because in the heat of ship construction, you might just get really too mentally overloaded and wind up with 2 crew quarters right next to each other. But if you can help it, try to keep them apart. I've managed to ingrain this rule in my head for quite a while now, and it very rarely happens to me. And if you can train your mind to be that way too, you will not have to worry about the Epidemic card. Other threats that you should be worried about, well, there's the good old combat zone. This one Round 2 means the most devastating one will be the person with the fewest number of people. So you do want to think about people quite a bit. Guns, having the least number of guns isn't hurtful, but you have to deal with smugglers who have a lot of attack strength, 8, but that's not too punishing either. Pirates, I would argue, are probably the most punishing of the shot cards. So as long as you have 6 or above in round 2, 6 attack or above, you should be fine. Yeah, there's slavers as well with 7. So if you find yourself low on people, make sure you have over 7 attack. But yeah, overall, the big key here is to make sure you have enough people, because getting hit by all those shots isn't going to be fun. So keep sure those crew quarters are full, but not adjacent, because epidemics are no good. All right, so we go to round 3. Round 3 has some pretty big things coming at you. Pretty big meteors coming from the side, which can be pretty devastating. So one thing I like to do in round 3 is make sure I have lasers pointed to the side so that in the event a big meteor comes along, I can shoot it down. Again, round 3 also has epidemics. Make sure you don't have those crew quarters next to each other. I've managed to keep that in mind. So if you do that as well, your ship will have a much smoother time in rounds 2 and 3. Another meteor swarm, which is pretty bad. All the big meteors are coming from the other direction. So make sure you have guns pointing in all sorts of directions so that you're not caught flat-footed and find yourself missing a very, very valuable ship part. And of course, the most devastating card in here would be pirates. A lot of shots coming your way. So make sure you have more than 10 attack strength if you can, because otherwise this gets really, really bad. But the rewards are worth it if you can somehow defeat them. And of course, Combat Zone in round 3 is all about the thrusters. So make sure that you have more thrusters than anybody else, or at least make sure you don't have the least number of thrusters, so you don't get shot at really, really badly. Because if you get shot at badly with these 2 big shots coming in from the back, you're going to be losing some parts, and it might just be enough to cripple you. So that's basically it. The first step, as the Boy Scouts would say, is to be prepared, know what kind of threats you'll be facing, and then you can start building your ship. And I'll do some rough playthroughs on how I think while I build my ship. So you'll be able to get me narrating and have a pretty decent idea of how I think when I'm building ships, so that you can see what kind of parts I use, what kind of parts I discard, and we'll basically run it through like an actual game of Galaxy Trucker. So hang on for that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about shipbuilding. And here you see the blueprints of the ship for round 1. Now, I'm going to play this a little bit unorthodox, because what I will do is take this little timer here and flip it immediately and begin ship construction. Now, if you read the rules for a Galaxy Trucker, you're not really supposed to flip over the hourglass until someone has finished building their ship. But, this is to kind of show you that how to build a ship even while under a lot of pressure. So hopefully that will get you to see how I can think under pressure as I try to explain every move as quickly as I can. So I'll go ahead and flip the hourglass, start building, and we'll see what happens. I've randomized this entire pile of ship parts, so I don't know what's under there. I can't really just grab something and be assured that it will be useful. But I'm really trying to reconstruct the shipbuilding experience as well as I can, so that you guys can kind of have a better idea into my thinking process when I build ships. So 3, 2, 1, here we go. Well, this part's going to be useful because it's a gun, it's pointing, and it has a lot of points which connect. This one's not so useful, so we flip it over. Nope, not useful to us. How about this one? Oh, maybe. This one is good because you can definitely make something happen. The question is, how do we align it? Let's make it go like this, and then, we can get this part hooked in. Now we just need to find something for the top. We'll just keep on flipping. Well, that one's no good. This one might be useful. Let's put it right here. Let's go ahead and stick this right here. And now we just need to find ourselves a booster that might work. Well, this one gives us a lot of options to go in different directions. So let's put this guy over here. And now we have another space for a gun, should we choose to have it go that way. Oh, this one's kind of useful, but let's put that aside. Oh, a very useful piece. We'll put it like this. That way we can put this gun pointing over here. Now we just need to find another gun. Well, this one's not it, but it's useful. This one could be useful, especially if we can find a crew quarter to put it next to. And there's this right here. And looks like time is almost up. So yeah, unfortunately time's up, and this is kind of the ship that we have. Not very firepower worthy, but the idea that you want, the approach you want to take is try to find a piece to connect here so that you can start building towards the front. So ideally I would have picked up a gun part that pointed forwards. Let's see if there's any. That is two-prong. That's obviously a little bit more limiting than expected. Okay, so if I could find something like this, that would be perfect. And then I'd probably throw a couple more thrusters on, maybe put this one right here, and add another part to the list to make it whole. But that's basically the idea. You want to be able to You'll want to be able to grab parts that'll connect things together and allow all your guns to point on top. So that's basically it for round one. Find parts that connect and then go for the guns, because guns are what will keep you alive. So that wasn't a great round one for me. My ships are usually a little bit better than that, but that's kind of the way things are under pressure. And if I'm trying to explain things, yeah, that makes things take a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and prepare as if we were going to play round two, because round two gives you a lot more time to build up to your kind of ship. So let's see what would happen in that scenario. Let me clear everything off the board and then we'll start. Here we go, the blueprints for round two. Just gonna try to mix things up as much as I can to make sure I'm not cheating. Don't know where all the locations are, so that there's no way I can have any sort of unfair advantage. All right, here we go. Again, we're gonna do the unrealistic way of working the sand timer. So I'll flip it immediately, and then once that timer runs out, I will flip it again, and I will continue building the ship all the while so that I can kind of replicate my thinking process. Bam. Yeah. Oh, very useful, because this part connects to a lot of other parts. So we'll make our make do, and this part is also amazing because that gives you a booster right there and gives you like 2 channels to go elsewhere. All right, this one is pretty useful. It allows you to go in different directions. So let's make this one go this way. This one is amazingly good, so we'll make it go that way. Very versatile part that can help you connect other things together, and this gives you the area to start finding your guns. So prioritize the guns. Not a gun, 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 but useful. Not here's a gun, but not the direction we really want to have it face. So let's go ahead and put this one right here, and then we put this gun facing this way. Perfect. We're good to go. And question is, how are we going to make the other things work? Well, here's a crew quarters. So let's go ahead and stick this over here. Remember, we don't want to have our crew quarters next to each other because this is round 2. Round 2 being the round that has all those horrible epidemics. Put this here. Perfect. We just need a part to connect on the inside. We can go ahead and use this piece. So this one's going to be great for carrying cargo. Question is it going to be able to survive against all those threats? We flip this over. More crew quarters. All right. How do we have this one turn? Well, let's have it go like this. So that way we can go ahead and find some configuration that'll work. Surely there's going to be a configuration that will work. Nope. Here's a gun, but not the right area. Keep flipping. Batteries are going to be important because we might have some objects that are geared towards battery usage, like shields, like the shield, for instance. So we'll keep that as an open option. This one looks good. We'll go ahead and stick that there. We know there's going to be some meteors coming at us from the side, but not that many, so we don't really have to prioritize for it, but it's useful. All right, double gun, perfect. What we need to do now is make sure we can go ahead and service those guns with batteries. So we're going to need ourselves some battery packs. So, well, here's a battery pack. We can go ahead and stick this over here. That gives us more room to place our guns, like so. And we can also put thrusters there. We can also, oh dear. What would we do? Keep going, and time is actually up. So, again, not the best ever, but it's definitely serviceable. What I probably would have done is looked for an alien crew quarter to attach to any of these just to make sure there's no holes. But not bad. Not bad. So, again, guns are prioritized. Making sure you have enough crew to survive all the horrible combat zones that might take place, and having enough thrusters to see you through the day. So that would be how it would work with a round 2 build. So again, let me clear up the board. We can do a round 3 build, and hopefully you will also see the same thought processes go. Pick out the pattern from the way I approach my building and use that to help you guide your building process. Let's get rid of this board. Make sure all the tiles are flipped over. Can't give ourselves an unfair advantage. And we will get the board for number 3. Okay, let me just shuffle this some more. I don't know where all the things are. All right. Again, we'll be unrealistic about this and build our ship with every turn of the sand timer, and we'll kind of see where it goes. So this one we will have basically the initial flip, flip 2, and flip 3. So let's kind of see how things will go from that. Bam. Okay, well, good to have in front, but not what we need yet. Thrusters from behind, excellent. We just need one more thing to go behind it. And this one might just do it the trick. Even though it is not connected to a crew quarter, actually let's not bother with that. Let's bother with this one instead, because batteries are always going to be useful. Put our thrusters there. Keep pulling. Here we go. But it's not really too useful without the crew quarter, so we will have to pass on that. Instead, we'll take this, because this allows us to expand. Let's start expanding upwards and forwards, and now we have our first gun. You have to keep looking for gun parts if possible, but also be able to expand our ships if possible. So let's go ahead and put that there so we can have some expansion opportunities. No guns, no guns, not a gun. But hey, why don't we just try to put this somewhere where it could be useful? So let's stick this right over here. So we'll have that there. We can go ahead and now have our purple alien, which will help us immensely in dealing with the horrible things that will come. Here we go, a gun, great. See, thruster alien, well, let's think about that later. In the meantime, we can just go ahead and stick this here. Let's go stick this over here. And then we will go ahead and attach this over here. Now this means we will have a weakness in here. No guns pointing out this way. That's fine. Sometimes it's just better to have a build where you survive. Here's a thruster. And we're already out in the first round. Great. This one's going to be useful. This piece is going to be useful later on because it gives us a side gun to deal with. This one's not too useful. Keep flipping. Nope. Here we go. Here's one. Now we just need like a three section that can take us to other parts. And let's see. Ooh, that one actually could become very useful. This one automatically goes here. You know that for sure. Let's see. Oh, well, this one's useful. Except I don't know where to place that. So let's go ahead, throw this here, and we'll place this over here. Now remember, in round 3, you're going to have to deal with a lot of stuff coming in from the sides as well. So you will want to be able to make sure that you're protected in that regard. So, hey, here's something that'll get us there. Bam. And let's go ahead and, well, this is useful. Now we just need some batteries. And we'll go ahead and throw this right here to help protect from all the horrible things that will come. This one we can place right here since we know no small meteors are going to come from the side. And if they are, we have that. But we do need some batteries. So, last flip. And we need to start building our left side. Great, 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 great. Here we go. We'll stick this over here. We have guns, which can help us further. I notice I'm not having any luck finding the turrets, and we do need batteries. So hey, here's a crew that. We'll go ahead and we need to find guns. Here's a battery pack, something that's very useful in this round. Keep on going. Place that there. We'll have that there. We can go ahead and start placing our guns if we can find any. Oh my. All right, stick that there. We have that there. we could, as long as we find a three-way piece, great, we can stick that there. Are there any guns that can help us with that? No. Guns? Are there any guns? Well, we have a piece here that we can use to just... Ooh, no, that doesn't fit. Ah, a gun. Not pointing in the direction we'd want it to point in, but we can't do anything with that. Oh, we have a battery here. That might be useful. Except it's not. Guns! Where's the guns? Alright. That one doesn't work. So. And its time's up. But even with that, still a fairly well defended ship. A lot of guns, including a double gun pointing here. The only big thing that's a glaring hole is that there's no guns pointing this direction, so that makes it difficult to defend against meteors going that way. Fingers crossed that it doesn't happen. If only been able to find one more gun that fit, but clearly it wasn't meant to be, which sometimes happens. But this way, your ship is pretty well defended, has an attack strength of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you power this, 8, 9, which is already pretty solid, 4 thrusters, plus 5, 6 because of this guy there, and 7, 8 if you decide to use a battery. So this ship is pretty well equipped. The only glaring flaw, as I said, no guns on that side, and probably not a lot of cargo space either, which can be a downside if this round turns out to be rich in cargo, which is why you would definitely want to look at the round cards before you play and build a ship so that you can at least have some sort of an idea of how to approach it instead of going completely haphazard. Anyway, that's it from me. Hopefully this guide has been useful in helping you to create better ships. If you have any comments or additional tips that new players can learn from, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And of course, if you want to see more guides on how to play board games, please subscribe to the channel. So hope to see you next time. I'm Chris from My Board Game Guides. Bye-bye.